I know it's gonna break. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's a reaction, huh? Calm down. Link for the video below. There's none of me in it. There's zero of me in the original. Welcome back, and thank you for taking the time out your busy day to listen to me yap on about more music. To be honest, I've been making these videos anyway because I really, really enjoy them, but knowing that you guys get the value and, I guess, entertainment that you tell me you get, it's truly heartwarming, and I'd be lying if I said it didn't encourage or motivate me in a big way. So thank you for sticking with me on this journey. Excited about this one. It has been a hot minute since I've listened to Spiritbox, at least anything new from Spiritbox, and super excited. All the songs I've done in the past have been on my playlist, my personal playlist, and I run to it. I listen to it in the house. I really, really like the band for a number of reasons. So I'm keen to see what they do with this. Is it heavy? Is it soft? Is it somewhere in the middle? I know they've released a few songs, one called Circle With Me. I have heard that one. I have not heard Secret Garden. I am not opposed to doing second listens or reviews, but there's something special about a first-time listen, a true first-time listen. I think it's great for you guys to get to see someone experience a song the way you probably did when you first heard it. And it's also cool for me because it's like a challenge, right? So I have to keep my ears sharp, have to listen more actively. Good nerves, and that's always healthy. So excited about this one and can't wait to see what they do with it. Without further ado, Spiritbox Secret Garden. Let's see what you got. Hang on. Okay, now, here's one of the things I absolutely adore about this band. Actually, before I say that, let me talk about the intro. I love when songs set a scene, whether it be through the video or the music. Both, if you can. In this case, that is true. Those little environmental sounds, you could hear the wind, you could hear the horses. There were a lot of effects that were reversed and shot up so they could have a sharp ending, a quick build-up. And there was that nice introduction of the cyclic piece in the back, which I think was a guitar just kind of coming in from a distance. And then into such an awesome, awesome riff. Now, here's what I love about them. Great songwriters, ultra talented musicians, the lot of them. There is always beauty in the brutality. And a lot of bands do have this light and dark contrast, but not many do it as well as they do. The music is heavy. It's a heavy riff. And there's this nice kind of like what sounds like this synth piece in the background, which is providing a fullness layering. But that guitar riff is just fantastic. It's already sitting in my soul, in my veins, and I've only just heard it. Now, it does sound like as it builds down that da-na-na-na, it does sound like there is a kind of rhythm section and a lead piece that's being played at the same time. I can't remember how many guitarists they have. I think just the one. So it'd be interesting to know kind of how that would be done. There are certain ways of doing that live. You could do loops. It may just be a background track that's played along with it, or they may just play that rhythm section and kind of hold down a lead piece as well. There's a couple different ways of doing it. It sounds like that. I'd have to hear it again. What an awesome riff. But the highlights of that riff is those little hammer-ons at the end. They could have played those as single notes, but they didn't. Those hammer-ons and pull-ups are really good. Really, really nice. It's a way of getting the emphasis of a note quite quickly without having to pick it again. And it just sounds good. Her voice, beautiful. Controversial opinion. I don't believe that Courtney is the best female rock singer out there. I think she's very, very good. But I think there's a uniqueness to her tone, her understanding and maturity of her own voice, and that's what makes her great. She's got this breathiness, this lightness, which is almost as significant, if not just under kind of the main vocal that's coming through. And there's a lightness to it, which sounds like it's ultra delicate, but it does not be delicate without power. and that's cool. God, I'm saying a lot. If only YouTube paid by the word. I can't pay me anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, listen to that very quickly. There is a nice vocal layer in there. I'm pretty sure it is. And they are so closely aligned. That's the point. It's supposed to be a layering for power, not a layering for necessarily a specific kind of harmony. But it does sound like it has a lot of spatial effects on. Listen very carefully, very, very closely. Ignore everything else. You should hear it. No. First of all, this video is absolutely gorgeous, and so is the song. I'm going to make one or two predictions. These are complete guesses. There's no musical secret behind this, just based on things I've heard in the past and experience. I'm going to go back so it leads in. I'm not going to go back too far, but what an interesting verse. You're talking about tapping, hammer-ons, pull-offs, all these little intricacies, things that you hear in bands like Animals as leaders. And I say that so loosely because I think I've only heard like one or two songs from them. But it's one of those kind of emphasis on like high-level musicianship. The beauty of it is you're hearing it, but those bands typically don't have a vocalist or have vocals in them. Those kinds of bands. This one does, and they're able to communicate a high level of musicality on what could have been and what probably was originally written as a very, very simple verse piece. Sometimes that happens by just writing the chords you want and singing on top, and then you develop the technicality, and sometimes that's just a nice riff that someone's playing, and then it kind of reverse engineers. There's two ways of doing that, and it doesn't really matter because the end product is fantastic. But it's her voice on top, again. It steadies everything. Her voice is the anchor. The drums are doing a really nice job there of being complicated when they need to be. You can still count that 4/4, but it's this odd beat, this rhythm, this odd emphasis of the snare. And it takes the danceability of it away for just a little bit, because we heard how melodic it was in the beginning. I'm sure it'll go back. Interesting to see what role that verse, that initial guitar piece plays later. But here's my prediction. It's actually more of a hope than a prediction. I would like, this is so pretty and kind of special in different ways. I would like for this to not be ultra heavy. That would be my wish. Let me say any heavier than it's already been, because I do think there's parts that are quite heavy. What a song. I think this counts as fair use. That I came for. Get in! Hang on. No, no. Hey, what a chorus. What a chorus. Beautiful, beautiful lightness of that voice just drifting up, becoming higher. I don't really know vocals. I've got to speak to Julia about that. But, you talk about like head voices and kind of drifting up from that, from your chest. And it just feels, you can just hear it kind of uplift the melody. There's an even greater lightness to the actual melodic singing of it, and not just the fact that the music becomes a little bit more simplified to allow that melody to shine through. Now, what I really like, a couple of things, is you have that quicker kind of accents of the snare, and then at half times, and they repeat that process, which I was hoping was going to happen, because I think it's used very, very smartly there. It's used pretty much by everybody, but it's used very smartly there. And I think it works, man. It's just awesome. There's no science behind that. It just sounds nice. That guitar riff, that's why I went back. I don't know if it was playing, tailing off at the end of each piece there. To be honest, I might not have been listening close enough. Probably get too excited. But I heard it there at the end. So I'm glad to hear those little hammer-on pieces, and that riff that was so special early on, that sat so nicely with me, is being used again, and not just kind of left to the end of the song to have like one more moment.
Evidence just to please me. I wake uninspired. It could all be so easy.
The bass is doing a fantastic job of keeping it steady. I know it's gonna break. Yeah. I get it. Yeah, it's a reaction, huh? Calm down. Link for the video below. There's none of me in it. There's zero of me in the original, if that's what you're looking for. That could not have been better for me. Sometimes I get lost in the song and I'm not listening to all the finer details. I'm out of practice as well. But I will say that that is probably one of the true signs of a great song, is if you are trying to listen intricately for small details, and then they just go, yeah, forget about that plan, but here's a melody, and you just get lost in that one. One thing I started noticing was kind of these effects that were being used. I want to say synth, but it's this kind of like layering at the back behind all the guitar. It's always behind with them. It's normally behind with them. And I was waiting for a moment. I kept lifting my hand up because I move my body around to see, oh, it sounds like it's there, or it sounds like it's, and place it. But the best part of this is that they actually stopped, and you could hear the residual effects of all of those trickle out. And that's why I've gone back, because you don't hear them as a primary sound to start with. You don't hear them entirely until that moment. And then you hear all of it as if a tap's been running and you turn it off, and that water that's left in the sink is kind of dripping down. It's that after effect. That's a weird analogy. It's an after effect of the fullness that came before, and I think it's quite special. Special, special stuff. They've done it again. Hey, there's one I haven't heard. No, don't play it. The Morrow Effect. A lot of you guys keep telling me to listen to that. It's a long one, isn't it? Or it's like a bunch of songs in one. Yeah, I mean they've just done it again. They've knocked it out the park. I got excited at the end there because I heard there be an extra like emphasis or pickup on some of the aggression of the guitar work, and that's a lot to do with the layering, not so much to do with the effects or switching from like a drive to a distortion necessarily. But glad that the vocals stayed where they did, and that's pretty much what I was hoping for earlier. That was the prediction or hope, if you will. I just wanted it to be what it was, and you could hear what it was quite early on. A beautifully thoughtful song written with intent, and all the energy that went into creating all the music looks to have gone into the video as well. Stunning video. When you're listening for the details, you don't always pick up on all the subtleties in the messaging, but visually, aesthetically, it was wonderful. And to be honest, right up there with my favorite song from them, because I'll never forget kind of the first time hearing Courtney scream and then hearing that blend with the singing, and just they've written some harsh songs, they've written some beautiful sad songs, and this is somewhere in the middle, but it didn't have to be either extreme. It just sat in a beautiful pocket, and it made me feel really happy musically. It made me feel quite emotional, but I don't know what those emotions are, if I'm honest with you. I would love to go and look at the lyrics and see if there's obviously going to be a deeper meaning and message behind it, I'm sure. And I always go and do, I know a lot of people say, you got to look at the lyrics. I do. I just do it after. Again, to the point of the last video, I'm going to do one thing well, not four things badly. Yes, that doesn't mean I appeal to a big audience. I've never cared for that. If you haven't picked that up by now. Yeah, fantastic, stunning song. Actually, that's given me a lot of energy, and I'm going to listen to that immediately. Sometimes when you do these songs, you need a bit of a break, and I don't have a whole lot of time. I film during my lunch breaks from work. Working from home still at the moment, so I film in my lunch breaks, or I film before work in the morning or after. And I try and edit them as quickly as possible to get them out for you guys. So thanks for being patient. There's no schedule. I don't want one. These will be out when they're out, and I'll make sure that they're fairly regular, because I don't like waiting too long before doing them, and I don't think you should have to wait too long either. If you have another suggestion, or you'd like me to listen to something, the very best way to do that is to comment on one of these videos. I do look at the comments. That's another thing real quick. Let me say this. I don't respond to a whole lot of comments anymore. I'm trying to spend less time on the internet, less time on platforms. But I do make a point after the video's gone live, after the premiere, I give it some time, and then I go back and I look at all the comments, and I see if there's anything you guys have said that's constructive that I can improve and do better, or if there's a suggestion that I think might work, and I always keep that in mind. So you can do that there, or you can you can hit me up on Twitter. That's the other place to do that. That was awesome. Can't wait for the next one. Until then, please be safe. Be so very nice to each other, and have a damn good day.